Chilling indeed. So this week saw the Presidential Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Summit, and let us now discuss the scourge of gender-based violence with Latifah Jacobs, who is the founder of a non-governmental organization called Aurorah. So thank you so much for your time indeed on the program today. I don't know if you caught some bits and part of the insert that we've just listened to right now. I know the lady just said that, the state decided to give the perpetrator 10 years. Do you think the cracks that we're seeing right now in our justice system first also just allows for, further victimization of our victims of GBV?
Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity. Palesa's family is just one of so many other families that are not giving the opportunity to say or voice how they actually feel. It is sad that the court did not even allow them as a family to say something, because it would have affected his parole when he's going to apply for parole. Him receiving 10 years for removing or for killing Palesa, for killing a mother, for a child being raised without his mother, 10 years. Do we see that our country, our justice system, do they see that as justice, really? When I was listening to her sister, and I was thinking the promises that our president made on the 5th of September 2019 after at the march of the MINEX, and one of the things that he said was, no person that will be sentenced for killing a woman in our country will receive less than a life sentence. So my question is again, when will our president fulfill these promises that he made on the 5th of September 2019? No parole, no a life sentence for all that are killing women and raping women and children. Where is the increase of sentencings for our people? For our women, our children. He made it so clear on this march that within an hour I will address the nation, and we are working on it. This is like just a month or so after our first summit that we had with the president, and I was present at the first summit as well. So it is sad. It is really sad. I've recently released a book actually called A Letter to My Perpetrator, creating a platform for families like Palesa's family to just say how they feel about their perpetrators. 10 years. Tell me, how will this family ever recover or heal from this trauma? Because I'm telling you, he's not even going to sit 10 years. And within a few years from now, they will have him back in their community, and he's gonna obviously fight for his child, and then it's gonna be causing trauma again for the family. It's just so pathetic, honestly. Our justice system is so pathetic. It is not true. This president has promised us he will also on the 5th of September create a state of emergency for all women, for all children. It is very clear that the president is not taking the femicide against our women seriously.
So listening to this, Ms. Jacobs, I was actually going to ask if you made any strides, or you feel some strides were made at that particular summit. But listening to what you just said to me, it looks like clearly a lot of work still needs to be done. So let's talk about how much progress are we making in fighting gender-based violence, because it seems year in, year out, we, having conversations, and they seemingly are becoming more of a talk shop than a space where we're able to action some of the conversations that we have in these platforms. What's your take?
My take was not even in the full day of the first day of the summit, I felt this is just another disappointing act of ticking the boxes of public participation, honestly. It was sad to see that the children wasn't even considered into the pillars, the 6 pillars. And I clearly, Lucinda Evans so clearly asked that we're hoping that the 7th pillar would really consider the lives of the children. I mean, they are our future. And they were given like 10 or 20 minutes in the second day to talk about their struggles. This summit was just another waste of money that could have been used in so many other things. If you think of it, our places, the safe house, the shelters, are only covered 60%, if not less, of the operational. And these are structures, places where people are kept for safety, being abused and traumatized by their perpetrators. Yet when perpetrators enter prison or cells or wherever they go to, they are covered 100%. So I really want to say to the president, please, you need to reconsider where funding goes in, number one, because again, the lives of the women and children of this country is not placed as a priority as you promised on the 5th of September, 2019.
And, I just got a sneak peek of, some of the work that you do. But for the benefit of our viewers, just perhaps take us through what Aurorah does for victims, especially in times where gender-based violence and the statistics keep soaring in the country, because clearly this is a national crisis, like you've put it. And maybe also just give us an overview of some of the challenges that you face as an NGO.
Well, I'm not just the founder of an NGO, I'm also a student that's studying community development. Although I'm a community development practitioner, our NGO focus on normalizing access, and I work a lot with youth because they are the ones that are really in need of proper guidance. They are our future leaders, they are our future parents, they are our future husbands and wives. And although I am also part of the 1 Billion Rising, that is a global network, and it is our leadership in Western Cape is Lucinda Evans, which is an amazing woman that has 2 shelters. She runs an emergency shelter within Western Cape. She's the only shelter here that runs a shelter for LGBTQIA+, and that is the type of work that we do. We, as women from the 1 Billion Rising, have our own NGOs, individual NGOs, and we focus on the safety of women and children, and also all genders. It's not just about women, it's not just about children, it's about male as well, because if you think of the LGBTQ community, they are so at risk and being traumatized by our own officials, because if they are raped and they go to a private doctor or a doctor, they don't get the same treatment as a woman that is being raped. If I think of the stats, and I think of the woman and the staff that works at all Tutuzela centers, and you just see them shake their head, because the stats that they see or they display on a yearly basis is not the stats, the actual stats that we see on the ground. So the government has a lot of work to do. So, and as long as they see that they need to work in their own departments and not come and work directly with these people that works on the ground on a daily basis, that is how long it's going to take for us to fight this fight. We cannot fight this fight in silos. We cannot fight it alone. We as the civil society, as they like to call us, the civil society, that only get 2 to 3 minutes to view our voices, while we have to listen to their talk shops for hours on end. They need to come and really work with us. And I'm not saying tick off the boxes and stating public participation was done, because that is not work done.
Latifah Jacobs, who's an activist there, speaking to us about gender-based violence and the greater role that everybody has to play in the fight against gender-based violence.